Welcome to Fox Valley Today. My name is Anne Vickery. I'm your host. Joining me today from the Fox Valley Older Adult Services in Sandwich, Illinois is Cindy Worsley, who is their executive director. As most of you know, Cindy comes on this program quite often, but you know, there isn't a time that we cannot promote enough some of the services that are available for our seniors and our disabled and those who are just unable to care for themselves. Maybe it's through the fact that they are older. Sometimes it's the fact that there's nobody to help them get through a time of maybe some surgery or a tough time in their life. But Cindy seems to be the gal with all the answers. And one of the things that we want to start off with this morning, Cindy, is your home. Your home services.
Right.
And so that's what I kind of wanted to lead into.
That's good. That's good. It's such an excellent program for us, particularly for people who are having some problems with mobility, maybe some memory loss, but they are at home either with a spouse or by themselves. And it just is so helpful. And last month we talked about adult day service, where clients come to our program at the center and have a lot of socialization activities and things like that. This program is in the individual's home. Mm-hmm. And I think you mentioned to me earlier that you had just spoken with Senior Services recently.
I did.
In their meeting. Mm-hmm. We work with them for all of our seniors in Kendall County and with an agency like theirs but different agencies in LaSalle and DeKalb counties. And those agencies go to the homes of the seniors and they make an evaluation. What does this person need to continue living in their own home?
Right.
And that's so important to all of us. Mm-hmm. And so maybe they need help with a meal, maybe they need help with house cleaning, maybe they can't get in and out of the bathtub or the shower. Or, you know, if you think of yourself as we all age and our mobility becomes less and less, some mornings I think, man, I wish somebody would help me lift up the corner of this mattress so I could change the sheet.
Yeah, because the mattresses are so heavy anymore.
They are,
Used to be when we slept on mattresses that were this heavy, yeah.
Yes, now I have to get up on my knees to get into the bed because it's so tall. So, you know, there are lots of things that we experience as we get older that we think we can still do. And then I do half of the job and I'm going, oh man, I wish I had some help carrying this around. And so somebody to come and help you in your own home just for a few hours a week. And we do anywhere from 2 hours to 40 hours for seniors, depending on the evaluation that's been provided by an agency like Senior Services, Alternatives for the Older Adult and Elder Care Services. Mm-hmm. So.
Now let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If somebody said, I just need help cleaning my house every week. I need somebody to come in and clean my bathroom and wipe up my floors and run my vacuum and change my beds. Can you hire somebody for that? Or
Yes.
you have to be evaluated?
You do need to be evaluated to get financial assistance with the program.
But you could buy the service?
You could buy the service, yes. And it runs, depending on how intense your needs are physically or in terms of the home, it runs $20 to $25 an hour.
Okay.
And we do ask the people who pay for themselves, we ask them to take 2 hours minimum per week. And then we send somebody to their home to help change that sheet on the beds. The needs are the same regardless of your financial condition. So yes, we do that privately, and then when a client is referred to us by one of these other agencies I just named, then those fees are paid through a program called the Community Care Program.
Now, if a person was unable to keep their house up and needed somebody to say, you know what, everybody's got kids or a niece or a nephew or a neighbor. We all do, but that would probably help if they could. But everybody can't help because time. Other people have families, they have their own issues. I mean, so what is it that you could expect a housekeeper to do?
We don't do anything medical.
Okay, but I'm talking about is in terms of household things.
Yes. So I mean I just wanted to make sure people understood that, because we're not coming in to take care of people who are ill. The medical field does that. But what the medical field has told us is that 85% of our needs are non-medical. If you've been in the hospital, for example, and they're sending you home, they're going to send us in because 85% of your needs are not medical. Mm-hmm. They're putting groceries away, cleaning, fixing your meal, giving you a shower or a bath, all of those things that are personal care plus household care.
Uh-huh.
And that's the beauty of the program, because, you know, as you just mentioned, many of us work and we can't go in and help take care of our parents. But the other side of the coin is, if I have a limited amount of time to visit with my mother, I don't want to spend it cleaning house. I want to spend it talking to her and helping her. And so then you can leave that housework to an agency such as ours.
Right, right.
So.
Yeah, and that has to be, you know, I know when my mom was failing and she could no longer keep up, we hired a daytime caregiver who did a lot of what you're talking about.
Right.
But mainly what she did is she spent time with her. You know, they go to lunch, they go to Walmart, they take a ride, you know, they just did stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of the heavier work was left to my sister and I, but it wasn't that big of a deal because, you know, most seniors, they don't get things that dirty.
That's right.
You know, things get cluttery.
They get cluttery. There's a layer of dust maybe that wasn't there before. Maybe floors need to be swept.
Right.
And where are the laundry facilities? You know, if they're upstairs, that's great. But if not, and somebody has to go up and down the stairs, then one of our home care aides do that.
Right.
And you know, we call them home care aides because they're there to keep the individual in their home and to provide care for that home too, to make it easier for them to stay there.
Right.
So,
now, about how many different care aides do you have out
we have
circulating?
Somewhere between 95 and 110, depending on the needs of the clients for the week, and we are looking for more aides. So if any of our viewers are looking for part-time work or full-time work, we hire full-time as well. We need them. In our private pay system, when individuals, and there is a financial and physical qualification to get into the state community care program where they support it. So if you don't qualify in that way, then we can provide a private in-home care aide, as we talked earlier, and we do that 24/7. We have many clients who they've just returned from the hospital. They really suffer from some memory loss. The family wants to keep them in their home, and so we provide that 24/7 service.
Okay, now you have this thing, and I'm looking at this brochure, and it says, call us, we can help, and it says, if you, a relative or a friend, need help with light housekeeping or errands.
Right.
If you work or need a break from 24/7 caregiving, so you have somebody that would come in then and would kind of, you know, just give you a respite, or if you are considering nursing home placement or full-time home care.
So we don't do anything in the nursing home, but if you are considering nursing home, but that's not your first choice, and I'm not here to criticize nursing homes at all.
No.
But that's not your first choice. You want to keep your husband or your mom or whoever at home, then call us and we'll see what we can. And we are also very frank with you when we feel that it's reached a point where we can no longer provide that care, or perhaps they need more medical services than they're able to get in their home, then we'll work with you and say, we just really believe that mom or dad or your husband or your wife need more help.
Need more help.
Yes.
And a lot of times it becomes when people are bedridden,
yes,
they can't use the bathroom on their own.
That's right.
That they can't really take fluids unless, and you worry about them choking.
Yes,
you know,
any of those kinds of things, and legally we would not be permitted to
do that.
Right,
because you're not sending RNs
no, we're
into the
not.
home.
We're sending trained aides. We do have some certified nursing assistants, CNAs, who work with us and provide care, but that's really as intense as it gets in terms of employee qualifications.
But you do have aides that will go 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yes.
That will go as a live-in aide.
We usually rotate them in and out so that we'll have more than one aide for somebody who's 24/7. In case that there's somebody who the aide becomes ill or has a family problem and can't work, then there's a secondary person who can go in and back that up.
But you do have situations where people have round-the-clock care.
Yes, we do.
Okay, and which would have to be, I don't know how that would compare to a nursing home. I mean,
well,
if you were a self-pay, so it'd be somewhere between $20 and $25 an hour.
Right.
There would still be at $20 an hour, it would still be over $600 a day.
Oh, yes, yes. And the nursing homes, and I hear all kinds of figures, but for people who are self-pay in the nursing home, it runs somewhere between $35,000 and $60,000, and that's just basic. That's not a posh nursing home that you know, has an indoor pool and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yes,
yeah, and you know,
yes.
if you're in a nursing home, you probably aren't going to need an indoor pool. But you know, you would see with you would think with all these assisted living areas that are going up, that life is going to get more competitive for them too.
Yes, it is. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, you see when there is assisted living in Oswego, they're now building a large assisted living one in
Yorkville.
There's
Right.
a very large one in Morris that takes up a whole city block
Oh
now.
my, okay.
It's huge. And they're going up, and that's one of the big growth areas in the stock market too, is that kind of health care.
Sure.
And I don't know, assisted living, do you have many people that transition into that?
Yes, yeah, we get several who do. Assisted living isn't as prevalent in our immediate area because there haven't been care centers. So that will be interesting to see what happens. Now, I'm on a committee of providers in Kendall County, and we were just discussing last week at our meeting the number of assisted living facilities and the new one in Yorkville, and they are willing to take other agencies in to help them with the seniors who live there. So,
And assisted living generally means you're given a bedroom, a little living space,
yes,
a microwave,
yes,
a
refrigerator,
sink, a refrigerator, so that maybe but they also provide 3 meals a day.
yes,
They do your laundry, but you don't, and somebody checks on you,
right,
but you are still taking care of yourself.
yes, exactly.
And do you know what those types of services run a month?
I'm sorry, I don't. My stepmother lived in one before she passed, and I don't really know what those cost. That's a good question.
Yeah,
I will
I think
research that and see.
that's something that people would like to know. And I think when this other place gets going in Yorkville, I think I'm going to have those folks come over and we're going to talk about it, because I think people need to know what things cost.
That's right.
You know,
That's exactly right.
Just for my own personal experience, my husband and I have nursing home insurance, and we put in a locked-in price. I mean, it'll pay forever, but it's only going to pay so much per day.
Right.
And I get that. But the other part of it is, if you stop and you talk to a nursing home about what their fees are, they don't want to tell you.
No.
They want to know how much you have first. It's kind of like going to a
yes.
divorce attorney. Give me the assets before I decide whether I want the case.
Whether I'm going to take your case or not.
I know I've never been divorced, but
well, and
that's what I hear.
some of the assisted living, I'm thinking of Heritage Woods over near Yorkville. They do their own care, their own in-home care. So we wouldn't go into like a Heritage Woods to work. They have their own. In talking, I believe the place at Yorkville is going to be called Anthony's Homes.
Well, no, there's 2 different ones.
There's 2 different ones.
The Anthony place is the one that's kind of behind the car wash over there, behind the Jewel, kind of, all that.
All right.
Now, the other one that's going at the corner of 34 and Cannonball Trail. Now, that's a huge one.
Yes, it is.
The one in Anthony's place is not, that's for people 55 and older who are still able to work, but they're able to care for themselves. That's not going to be an assisted living.
Right.
It's just more of a senior place. And I think there's going to be 3 apartments there who are going to have, if you are low income, they have to have a certain amount that are.
Yes, and they talked about that at our meeting the other day. They said that they were income based.
Yes.
So
yes. For some of them, yeah.
Right.
But I don't think that's for active seniors. Still.
Yes. If
but
you
I
can
think
still work and live
I
there.
still think that they are going to all be handicap accessible.
Yes.
To make room for those things, so you might transition into that kind of living.
That's right.
So let's take a break, and then let's come back and talk about some of the other things going on over at the Fox Valley Older Adult Services, and some of the other benefits that people can reap from being involved with you folks.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll take a little bit of a break. We'll be right back.
So I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to Fox Valley Today. I'm here with Cindy Worsley from the Fox Valley Older Adult Services. One of the things we were talking about when we were off camera was if the government shutdown, excuse me, will affect senior services. And it's not just senior services, it's all services that are government dependent.
Right.
Whether it's seniors or the disabled or children who
That's
are
right. Yes.
in homes that need help and
That's right.
are there for all kinds of disabilities, whether mental or physical. Tell me how the government shutdown may affect you guys.
The immediate effect on seniors is that nutrition programs, Meals on Wheels, congregate meal sites, are funded through the federal government. So if they shut down and there's no budget, then they don't get paid. And so then it's up to the agency to figure out how to buy food and how to continue providing meals for those seniors, either in their home or coming to a congregate meal site like they do at our center.
Well, that should be interesting. We have had other government shutdowns since you guys were in business.
Right.
And what happened then?
We cleaned out the freezer, basically. The menu that we get from the Voluntary Action Center, which is the agency that provides our meals, both Meals on Wheels and the noon meal site, has always come out very official on a calendar typed by the month. And now we have a handwritten menu that is in our racks for people to pick up. And what we're basically doing is making sure that we have the food that's on that menu, because we know, for example, that we found, I'm just using this as an example, oh, we found 2 extra turkeys in the, so we're going to have turkey on that day.
Right.
And so, I mean, I've been in that position with when we were running our own nutrition site and there was no money for it, and I went to the cook and said, clean out the freezer, because we're going to have to eat everything before we try to buy more.
Yeah.
So, you know, this affects, as I mentioned, not only are people who come to the noon meal site, but people in their homes who get Meals on Wheels.
Right.
And so all of these things are really affecting these people's ability to continue living in their home. If they can't get food and there's no one to help them throughout the day, that sends them very quickly to a nursing home.
It just doesn't seem, there's something so wrong with the system that can have such a devastating effect on on those who need
Yeah.
so much help.
Yes, exactly.
And you know what? People talk about getting old, and people joke about it.
Yes.
But I think people are really afraid. to
Oh,
get old
absolutely.
because you lose control. And I mean, you know, as your facilities diminish, whether it's physical or mental,
That's right.
financially, whatever,
Yep.
things diminish. Who's going to care for me?
That's right.
Everybody fears that.
Yes, and families live a long ways away, and many times we find parents who, well, yes, I had 2 children, they both passed away.
Yeah,
I don't
or
have anyone left.
they're too
you know.
far.
They're too
gone.
far away.
And you
yes.
know what? Family estrangement is not that unusual.
No, it's not.
I
Not
mean,
anymore.
things happen in life that
Yeah.
you know, maybe some people shouldn't have been parents, but maybe some kids are just
Rude.
rude,
Ornery, yes.
ornery,
yes.
and they're just not going to give in.
That's right. That's
And
right.
estrangement is a very it's
Yep.
it's out there.
That's
There's a
right.
lot of it. There's a lot more of it than people
yes,
would like to
yes.
admit.
And one of the things that happens to us as we get older is that we begin suffering depression. Because there's a buildup, and if you're spending a lot of time alone, you're thinking about those things. And so that's where our programs at the center come in,
right.
is to prevent people from spending a lot of time alone. And you can come and visit us at the center. We don't care where you live. If you can get there, either by our bus or somebody else's bus, or a friend will bring you, or you're still driving yourself.
Right.
Come and
right.
join us every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You'll
Have
hear
a
lots
meal,
of laughter.
Sit and gossip. And I just noticed when I was over there a few weeks ago over there, you know, there's like the old men were kind of sitting in the hallway just joking,
Yes,
just laughing.
yes.
And more, it was kind of like one of these things where you can remember when you were young, the guys that just set out just to watch the women go by.
That's-
No, I don't. That was not going on there. But
I don't know.
It was just kind of those old men just kind of sitting there.
That's
just
right.
Lined up, just joking. And
You know, sometimes
talking
when the
about it.
flesh is weak, the mind is still very willing.
Yeah. Well, we won't get into that.
Yeah, let's not go
You
there.
know what? I want to talk about you guys are going on. You're going to hit this mattress sale again.
Yes,
huh?
we are. March 17th and 18th, we are having a mattress sale with essential beds again. That's been very successful for us. The people who have done business through Essential Bed have been very happy with it. Your mattress gets delivered. The only thing they don't do is take away the old mattress.
Yes.
But if you speak to your garbage pickup, then I think you can get that
Sometimes
taken
they'll
care
do
of.
it. Yeah.
Yes,
You've
yes.
got a girls' night out coming up.
We do. The Girls' Night Out, actually, come to join us at the Center for Girls' Night Out. They're going to play games, Farkle, and any other kind of card game or any game you might like.
Yeah. You
and,
shoot any craps over there?
I don't know. The only reason we might not is nobody suggested it. So, do you know how? Come on over.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll worry about that some other.
That's right.
You got some chair yoga. That's pretty
Yes,
popular
on
everywhere.
Wednesdays, and it's a nice, very relaxing. We'll go into a room that's somewhat darkened and have nice music and just have a time to take the worries out of your mind and relax.
That's
Right.
nice. I mean,
Yes.
you know, kind of soft music.
It
I
is.
listen to that sometimes on the radio. Just
Oh,
something.
yes, yes. I hope you're not driving when you do that.
Yeah, I do, but I seldom. I don't
Okay.
very often sleep while I'm driving.
And then one of our newer things is it's listed on the calendar as coloring. And I was so sorry, I don't think I have that person's name with me, but a volunteer who is a professional artist called us and said, you know, I'd like to come over and help some people with some art activities with coloring and that kind of thing. And I know, of course, it'll be the second paper. No, it's not. Anyway, she comes on Friday morning. She comes once a month, but the group gets together every Friday. And I went in there the first time that they met, and I was amazed. I was expecting coloring book pictures and coloring with colored pencils and crayons and that thing. No, she came in with a blank pieces of paper and taught them how to draw a flower, and then how to shade the flower and how to color the flower. And there wasn't a single flower at that table, and we had, I think, about 10 or 12 people. There wasn't a single one that didn't look like a professional greeting card.
Really?
Yes, it's beautiful. And she is a professional artist, but she called us one day and said, I'd just like to do this on my own time, and I'll be free, you know. So
You
it
know,
just is wonderful.
Do they use pencils or crayons?
Whatever they want. They can use pencils, crayons, markers, all different, and there are a bajillion kinds of markers now
Right.
that have different kinds of inks in them.
Right.
And they come in and do that. And then a couple of the people who participate have been coloring for a long time, and so they come on the other Fridays and they all do this together and kind of work on it.
You know, I have a brother-in-law who says every once in a while I like to just sit down and color.
Yes.
I think it's
so
just
relaxing.
It's something very relaxing, and you have a kind of a focus.
Yes.
You know, kind of get
yes.
your mind off of whatever it is that your
yes.
mind has been on.
Yes, exactly. Things we shouldn't have. I did want to clear one thing up. I said the artist is free, and she is. She does not charge us to come. We do ask for a $2 donation for the class if you're a member. It just helps to defray our utilities and cleaning the room and all of that
Right,
sort of thing.
right,
So,
that you got to do.
yes, right.
So let me ask you a question, talking about cleaning the room. Has the flu been bad over there?
Oh, yes. Through staff as well as through our seniors.
Have you had the influenza, or have you had the stomach flu, or?
It sounds more, for all of the staff, it's been more of a cold issue than flu. But it all kind of went together, and it seems we do seem to have some people who are having a revisit with it.
Okay. And, but you haven't had anybody in the hospital,
No.
or none of your seniors have
No.
died, or
No,
anything like
no,
that?
not from that
And
we know of anyway.
I was in, I had to go in for a blood test, and just kind of talking to our listening audience a little bit. I had to go for a blood test, just a routine deal, right? So I go in and I'm talking to the immediate care people, and I go early, and I asked them, I said, have you guys had a big influx of flu patients? And they had said that yesterday, the day before that I'd gone in, they had place had just been overrun.
Oh, yes.
And I said, what age groups are you talking about? Are you talking about the seniors? They said, no, not really. It's
Really?
that teenage through about age 40, the people who think they're still invincible and don't get those flu shots.
Yes.
And she
Yes.
said, the gal who talked to me said these were the ones that have had the really serious, really
Right,
sick
right.
people. And of course, most of us, we've had those flu shots through the years, so we kind of keep building up a little bit more of a resistance towards
right.
some of it. So I've done everything I can to stay
To
away
prevent
from it.
it, yes.
We got just a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
Let's run through your trips.
Oh, yes, yes. Let's see. I have my list. You will love going on these trips. First of all, Becky chaperones all of them. She
Right.
plans them. She gets you there. On the bus, if she does play some games and people tell jokes, there's some laughter.
Right.
At the end of the trip, she has a treat for everybody that matches the trip, so you really want to go on these. Quickly, March 14th, we're going to Navy Pier to see the garden show. We've been there before. It's a lot of, it's just really pretty seeing all the different things they have. April 18th, the Church Basement Ladies at Circa 21 Theater over near Rock Island. If you haven't seen a Church Basement Lady play,
They
you
are
have
funny.
missed it. May 9th through 11th is a multi-day trip to the Tulip Festival in Holland, Michigan. June 3rd through 9th is a trip we've been asked for a long time and never been able to do. We're going to Mackinac Island.
Oh yeah, that's
yes,
nice.
And you will love that. June 27th, a day trip to the Lipizzan Stallions at Old Mill Creek. June 20th is the Lake Geneva Mailboat Cruise. So
I just
lots
want to
of
make
different
one
things.
thing. These horses are not stallions. They call them, but they are not.
Okay, I've never seen them, so I
Well,
don't know.
they are not. There would be no way that these guys could handle these stallions.
Okay.
So anyway,
All right.
so much for that.
I'm glad you cleared that up. In August 15th, Daphne and Dave at Starved Rock. August 29th, our game, the Cubs versus the Mets. In September, we're going on Kicks on Route 66, and I believe there is not a date yet for that, but that is a great trip. Becky did that last year as a mystery trip, and we had a few men on the trip who just loved it. So this year it's not a mystery trip.
Okay.
And then finally, in October, Smoky Mountain 5-day trip, and November 30th is, she says, the Elf and Fireside Theater.
Well, thank you very much, Cindy, for coming over
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you to our listeners, and we'll see you next time.